Hello guys, you're welcome back to Slick Academics. So without further ado, let's go on to the questions. When a colorblind woman marries a normal man, what is the probability of their son being colorblind? A 25%, B 100%, C 50%, D 0%. Now, since colorblindness is born on the X chromosome, a colorblind woman with chromosome XX that marries a normal man of XY. For whatever X chromosome the sons inherit from the mother, the sons will be colorblind. That means they will be inheriting the X chromosome that is carrying the trait for colorblindness from their mother. So the answer is B. 100% of the sons shall be colorblind or will be colorblind. So we go on to the next question. In genetic counseling, a man with hemoglobin formation HbA-HbS is most preferred to marry a woman of A HbA-HbA, that is hemoglobin A, HbC-HbH, HbM-HbF, HbS-HbS. What this question is simply asking is, a man with hemoglobin formation HAS, let's just say a man who has a genotype of AS, is most preferred to marry a woman of which genotype? So AS and AS should not marry. There is every chance of having a child with SS. But if AS marries an AA, you will end up with kids with AA and AS, which is acceptable. We go to the next question. The sum total of all observable features of an organism is dash. A. Phenotype, B. Heterozygous, C. Genotype, D. Homozygous. The answer is A, because phenotype refers to the sum total of all observable features of an organism, including physical appearance such as height, eye color, also behavior and physiological traits. It is influenced by both genetic makeup, as the genotype, and environmental factors. So it is a combination of both nature and nurture. So the right answer is A. So we go to the next question. If both parents are heterozygous for a trait, the probability that an offspring will be recessive for that trait is dash. A 1/2, B 3/4, C 1/4, D 1. Well, if we should use the Punnett square to cross these heterozygous traits of both parents, we'll find out that the correct answer is C, that is 1/4, 1/4. The expected genotype ratio will be 2 heterozygous, that is when the 2 heterozygous traits of the parents are crossed. We will have 1 homozygous dominant trait, 2 heterozygous, and 1 homozygous recessive trait. So the correct answer is C. Now we go to the next question. If a DNA strand has a base sequence of CA, has a base sequence of TCA, its complementary strand must be dash. A ATG, B TAG, C GAT, D AGT. Well, the trick to this is simple. Simply know the base pair, the complementary base pairs. All right, so we are going to have, always know that adenine pairs with thymine, while thymine pairs with adenine. Then we have cytosine pairs with guanine, and guanine pairs with cytosine. So the correct answer is D. Now the next question says, which of the following is true in blood transfusion? A person of blood group AB can donate blood only to another person of blood group AB. B, a person of blood group A and B can donate or receive blood from each other. C. A person of blood group AB can receive blood only from persons of blood group AB, A or B. D. A person of blood group O can donate only to a person of blood group O. And the correct answer here is A, because people with blood type AB are universal recipients but not universal donors. So AB will only receive from AB. Over the course of the questions that we've been going through, you will notice that these questions are being repeated but in different ways. So the correct answer here is A. So we go to the next question. The mutation theory of organic evolution was propounded by Dash, A. Gregor Mendel, B. Hugo de Vries, C. Jean Lamarck, D. Charles Darwin. Now, let's look at what these different scientists worked on. Gregor Mendel is known as the father of genetics. He discovered the basic principles of inheritance, dominance, and recessive traits. Then we also have Jean Lamarck. He proposed the idea that organisms acquire traits through use and disuse and pass them on to their offsprings. Charles Darwin proposed the theory of natural selection, explaining how gradual adaptation over generations lead to evolution. While Hugo de Vries, a Dutch botanist, proposed the mutation theory of evolution in the early 20th century. He suggested that sudden random genetic mutations could lead to evolutionary changes rather than the slow and gradual changes proposed by Darwin. So the correct answer is B. We go to the next question. Hassan and Hussein are identical twins, but Hassan grows taller and fatter than Hussein. This is probably because A. Hassan inherits gene for tallness and fatness from the father. They have dissimilar genotypes. C. Hussein is endowed with genes for shortness and thinness. D. They are raised in different environments. Where the correct answer here is D. Their environments differ. Because identical twins are monozygote twins, they share the same genotype because they come from the same fertilized egg that splits into two. However, their phenotypes, that is, their physical traits, can differ due to environmental factors such as nutrition. One twin may eat better than the other. Physical activities, one may exercise more. Health conditions, one might be more healthy. Lifestyle and exposure to different environments. So, the correct answer here is D. We go to the next question. In a cell, the genes are carried by dash. A. Nuclear membranes. B. Chromatin threads. C. Lysosomes. D. Mitochondria. Well, the correct answer here is B, because the nuclear membrane surrounds the nucleus but does not carry genes. The lysosomes are organelles responsible for digestion and waste removal, not for carrying genes. The mitochondria have their own small amount of DNA but are not the primary carriers of gene in a cell. And the correct answer here is the chromatin threads, which are made up of DNA and protein. During cell division, chromatin condenses to form chromosomes, which contain the genetic information necessary for inheritance. Now we have a health condition that is known to have resulted from gene mutation is dash. A. Typhoid. B. Rabies. C. Sickle cell anemia. D. Sleeping sickness. Well, the correct answer here is C. Sickle cell anemia, because typhoid is caused by a bacterium, Salmonella typhi, and not by gene mutation. Rabies is caused by a virus, not a genetic mutation, and that's the rhabdovirus. Then Sleeping sickness is caused by trypanosoma parasites, either Trypanosoma gambiense or Trypanosoma rhodesiense, as the case may be, transmitted by flies, not by gene mutation. Sickle cell is indeed a genetic disorder caused by a mutation in the hemoglobin gene. This mutation results in abnormal hemoglobin that causes red blood cells to become sickle-shaped, leading to blocked blood flow, pain, and other complications. Now we go to the next question. A pair of genes that control a trait is referred to as A, an allele, B, recessive, C, dominant, D, hybrid. The correct answer here is an allele, because recessive simply is a recessive allele is only expressed when paired with another recessive allele. Dominant is actually the act of being expressed more often, and a hybrid refers to an organism with two different alleles, heterozygous, for a trait, but it does not define a gene pair itself. The correct answer is alleles, because they are different forms of a gene that controls the same trait. Every organism inherits two alleles for each gene, one from each parent. These alleles can be dominant, that is expressed, or recessive, that is not expressed all the time in the presence of a dominant gene. So in this case, the answer is A, allele. We go to the next question. If a 26-year-old blind man marries a young one-eyed woman and they had 4 children, how many of them will be blind like their father? A, all, B, 3, C, 2, D, 1, E, none. Well, in this question, we were not told the cause of the man's blindness, nor why the woman has one eye. So the correct answer depends on the cause of the man's blindness, whether it is genetic or due to an external factor such as injury or diseases. Since no cause of the blindness was stated, we would assume that it is not genetic. Hence, we'll choose E. So none of the children will be blind like their father. We go to the next question. A red-colored flower, when crossed with a white-colored one, produced pink flowers. This is an example of dash. A, complete dominance. B, blending inheritance. C, interaction of genes. D, crossing. Here, the correct answer is B, blending inheritance. The situation described where a red-colored flower is crossed with a white-colored flower and produces pink-colored offspring is an example of incomplete dominance or blending inheritance. Neither allele is completely dominant over the other. Instead of one trait fully expressing, the offspring show an intermediate phenotype. So the correct answer once again is B, blending inheritance. Then finally, we have example of waterborne and sex-linked diseases are dash. A, teniasis and malaria. B, cholera and gonorrhea. C, typhoid and syphilis. D, dracunculiasis and hemophilia. The correct answer here is D, dracunculiasis and hemophilia, because tinea is caused by tapeworms and spread through contaminated food and not water, and malaria is spread by mosquitoes, not water or inheritance. Cholera and gonorrhea. Cholera is waterborne, but gonorrhea is a sexually transmitted infection and not a sex-linked genetic disease. Then we have typhoid and syphilis. Typhoid is a waterborne bacterial disease, while syphilis is an STI, not a sex-linked genetic disease. But dracunculiasis and hemophilia. Dracunculiasis, which is also known as guinea worm disease, is a waterborne disease caused by drinking water contaminated with larvae of Dracunculus medinensis, or what we call the guinea worm. And hemophilia is a sex-linked genetic disorder on the X-linked recessive that affects blood clotting, making individuals prone to excessive bleeding. So the correct answer once again is D, dracunculiasis and hemophilia. So I will see you in our next class when we treat other areas of biology in your WAEC, NECO and JAMB past questions. Thank you and remain blessed.